Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Sizzle, sizzle.
In this movie, we are going to Sizzler.
It's a restaurant that neither of us have ever been to.
Sizzler was founded in 1958 and it was meant to be an affordable steak restaurant, which does sound like a difficult idea because steak is known to be expensive, but you know what? I'm always down for someone with a dream.
How did they do it though? Like, would they always just get the crappiest meat?
They'd have a butcher in the back that would cut it, and that was meant to cut costs. Then in the 70s, they decided to do an iconic move. Add a salad bar. Yay! People will jump off a cliff, break into their grandma's 401k or whatever to get a salad bar.
And can you picture back then? They probably had never heard of a salad bar. Like, even today, everyone's excited about salad bars. But back then, I bet you people would kill to go to a salad bar, actually murder. And actually, it's sad that happened. And RIP to anyone who died from that.
Somewhere in Australia where there was a Sizzler restaurant, someone put rat poison in the salad bar.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Wait, so
that did happen.
All these people died?
No one died though. Yay! People were loving it, but then in the 90s, they were like, wait, why not make the buffet even bigger? And they started to add more like actual food to the buffet. Okay, maybe I used a wrong term. Salad is actual food. What I mean is they added more
entrees.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. And some people just only ate at the buffet. They stopped ordering the entrees on the menu because there is an entire menu also. At its height, it had over 500 locations, and there was even one in Omaha, Nebraska.
I feel like I drove past it or something. Like, it does ring a bell.
Sadly, in 1996, they filed for bankruptcy and closed over 100 of its locations. As usual, when one goes bankrupt, they decide to do a makeover. They're like, okay, let's get the new era going because people hate us. So they updated the menu, and they also removed some of the all-you-can-eat buffets in some of the locations. Sadly, once again, they went bankrupt because sometimes it turns out, even when you do a makeover, people don't hate your actions. It turns out they just hate you, and that's what Sizzler realized in 2020. This was their second time going bankrupt, and now they have under 100 locations, and they're mostly in the western part of the United States.
A lot of people complain that the Sizzler locations are run down, disgusting, but the Los Angeles one was a beauty. Palm trees on a nice street. I mean, maybe it was the magic of Hollywood and all the famous people, but this one was great. Okay, we now know where Kris Jenner got the inspiration for her foyer. Flooring, obviously from the Sizzler. This is the vibe that was on the mood board.
I didn't even think of that. I think you might be onto something.
Yeah.
Right after walking into the Sizzler location, I just felt like I was going back to the 70s or something. It just seemed like it hadn't been renovated. Yes, it's been cleaned up. It wasn't dirty. It just felt like it hadn't been updated since the year 1983. And yeah.
The only thing that brings you to modern day are these, I know they're not AI, but these kind of AI photos they had everywhere.
These are meant to entice you with the food, but I thought they kind of came off as too fake.
Yeah, I mean, they did have some authenticity because I actually remember one of the girls, pretty sure this breadstick girl, she had little food in her teeth. And I remember thinking, like, I'm surprised they didn't Photoshop that out, but probably the third time biting into the thing, so she had a little bit of food. We probably can't even see it in this video, but like they did keep some imperfections.
They also had some really old photos from when Sizzler opened. These were thrown in to remind everyone, like, we are retro, we're cool, we go thrifting.
Tumblr.
We didn't know this before going, but it's actually a fast casual restaurant, and I did see that they're kind of a pioneer in this world. They were one of the first restaurants to really do this theme of, oh, you order at a desk and then you sit down, and honestly, I love restaurants like that.
I know, I love how once you're at the table, you know how much money you spent. You can just relax and eat. You don't have to be worrying about this bill that's gonna show up, or they're gonna add all these fees and stuff. Like, finally, I can relax.
It just felt so homey in this restaurant. I felt felt so comfortable. I don't know if it was the theme of the restaurant, if it was the clientele, but something about it actually made me feel at peace. Since this is a fast casual restaurant, you fill up your own drink, which I also love because you can get as many refills as you want. You don't need to ask the waiter or waitress, oh, can I get a refill? No, you just go up and get it yourself.
Now that you bring that up, I realized I only got one Diet Coke, where usually if there was a refill person, I probably would have had 6. But I was too lazy to walk up and get my second glass.
Both of us got up and we went to the salad bar. This is a full-on buffet, guys. They have soups like a lot of buffets. I never get soups, but I am always pleased when I see the soups. I think they had clam chowder and chicken noodle.
Of course, they had all the different types of greens, all the toppings, croutons, bacon bits, dressings. And I'm pretty sure the dressings weren't labeled, which I kind of respected because they aren't questioning the intelligence of the consumer. It's like, girl, if you don't know the difference between how blue cheese and ranch looks at this point, leave. Like, we're not going to explain it to you like you're a little toddler. Like, this is the real world. I love when they present the dressings in these big tubs because there's always going to be a little bit of bacon in it, a little bit of some chunk of some vegetable. Like, all this shit's going to fall in there throughout the day, which kind of just makes it a mystery.
They also had a bunch of pre-made salads. They had a few of those mayonnaise salads.
Whether it's noodles, potatoes, just drench it in ranch, right? That's basically the vibe of this side. There's sour cream or something.
And then they had this, which I think might be pudding with vanilla wafers on the side. I do like the presentation. I didn't get it.
We stumbled back to our booth and we saw there was a present waiting for us.
Cheese toast.
I wasn't aware of this. This is sort of, if you're a Sizzler boy, like you are like, oh my God, you didn't know about this? This is like their thing they gave you for free. The girl was eating it in that photo earlier.
I was super excited that they gave us this because on Wikipedia, I read that there was drama when they introduced this because people did the classic complaining thing. The only reason why they give you free cheese toast is because it's cheap and they want you to fill up on the cheese toast so then you get less from the salad bar. And I mean, okay, valid. But also, this cheese toast is so good, I don't care if they're giving it to us to fill up our stomachs. I love it so much.
It was so simple. Like, it feels like something you would make at home in the best way. Like, literally just a regular piece of bread from the store with like cheese on it. I loved it at the time, but now thinking back, don't you just wish there was a little marinara cup?
Yeah, I do.
My salad plate was super boring. But you know what? As they say, sometimes being boring is better than being extravagant.
I don't know, your plate's giving the vibe that you're on a secret diet. Like the no dressing. What is he doing?
So the reason I didn't get dressing is because I think I have 2 versions of myself. Gooey Jacob and non-gooey Jacob. On this day, I was in a non-gooey mood. But if I was in a gooey mood, I would have put blue cheese on top. I did add a bunch of toppings on my salad and it was tasty, but yeah, it was nothing crazy, obviously.
I went to town, as you can tell. I was in the mood for a salad bar today. I was in a gooey mood. I wanted to get croutons, bacon bits, white sauce, and I was even excited to try the mayonnaise salads. But I was very disappointed when I tried my first one because first of all, I started smelling a dance studio. And I was like, oh, I got the tuna salad. Ew, getting a tuna salad from a buffet is disgusting. Like, that to me is where I draw the line.
But the thing about tuna is that you can get canned tuna at the grocery store for like $1.50. So like, it's not like it doesn't have to be fancy, you know?
Yeah, just like a cat food type salad. But I did try it and I was like, maybe I'll love it. Didn't. But they had this pesto salad, which was very tasty. And I was a little bit sad I didn't get the potato salad. Like, I was just sad so much of my plate was taken up by this dance studio salad.
That actually does
And
suck.
then it actually ruined the whole plate because the little tuna bits kept getting on everything. I'd be trying to eat other parts of the plate and I would just smell the tuna, or it kind of got a little bit of the remnants on it. Like, I actually wasted this whole plate kind of because of the tuna, because it just kind of penetrated everything.
Maybe we missed the labels. That very well could have happened, but I remember nothing being labeled. But then again, like, maybe we just aren't aware.
Yeah.
Then our main entree came, we decided to share our main entree, and I'll get into the prices for those wondering. So, we got the steak and lobster meal, which is one of the more expensive meals, but we were like, we have to live!
YOLO!
That came out to $28.99. It was $8.29 to add the buffet onto the meal, and then it was an additional $14.99 for the other buffet because we shared a meal, you know?
I think that's about as cheap as a buffet will get in this day and age.
This meal does kind of feel like one of those Nike t-shirts that says "Ball so hard." I feel like both of us should have been wearing that t-shirt on this day. But the plate was so cool. It said Family Steakhouse on it, and it just felt like an original plate from 1958. I doubt it was, but I loved the attempt at trying to make these original plates or whatever. So I started cutting up the steak. We got it medium rare. While I was cutting it, I started thinking, wait, is this still alive? It was so bloody.
And I usually am a medium rare boy, but when you did cut into that, I was kind of like, whoa, like this is bloody.
Something about the bloodiness of the steak was like kind of making me iffy, but I still ate a piece of it.
You were chewing that piece for a while. I swear it was like bubble gum. Because I remember at a certain point I was like, wait, are you still chewing it?
Yeah.
Minutes had passed.
It was chewy, but the taste was really good.
I guess that's a good thing then. The taste was good and it took forever to chew, so you gotta really enjoy that one bite. Mindful eating. Buddhism. So Jacob told me that I could have the entire lobster tail. So I was excited that like I gotta have the whole fanciest part, the lobster. And it was the lobster tail, which I think that's very bougie. I've always been one of these people who claims lobster doesn't taste like anything. Today I actually tasted it. Like I got it. I don't know if I was just tasting the butter I was dipping it in, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a lobster boy. I'm gonna have to move to Maine.
And it's real lobster because it was still connected to the lobster tail.
I know, because at first I was like, wait, is this a little Timu tail that they put on the plate? But no, it was actually connected. So unless they hot glue it, it was actually, yeah, it was a lobster tail.
A few days later, we were in Orange County. We just were exploring, and we ate at this restaurant for dinner. It was a fancy restaurant, and we ate there because they went there on The Real Housewives of OC. We just were so excited. We got lobster tacos, and Lucas said that the lobster in these tacos at this fancy OC restaurant tasted the same as the Sizzler lobster.
Well, I actually could taste the lobster at the Sizzler. I would say it was even better because the one at the fancy OC restaurant, I literally bit into the taco and it was like, it doesn't even taste like lobster.
Then we dug into the potato. With this meal, you could choose a few sides. We decided to get the potato, and they asked, what do you want on it? And I said, I want everything except your backhand.
They loaded that up. Honestly, not really. It just looked like kind of a cute amount. But it was good. I mean, you can't really go wrong with the potato.
Even though it's literally just a potato, I don't know what it was, but on this specific day, I was like mouth wide for this potato.
I didn't really want that much steak since I already ate the whole lobster tail. And yeah, I didn't really like it. It's like I don't like chicken breast either. You're chewing so much.
They gave us A1 steak sauce, so I tried a piece with A1 steak sauce, and I kind of think A1 steak sauce is dumb, but then look what Lucas did, guys. He put the A1 steak sauce right in front of the camera to sabotage this entire video.
I would say this is actually a stylistic choice. And also in these videos, I am just an actor. Jacob's the director, so why was he not looking at the shot to make sure it was good?
I guess this year I won't win Best Director at the Oscars.
Babe, keep doing your thing. Oh yeah, drop it low, shake, shake, make it clap.
We decided to go up to the buffet again, and I noticed that they had gloves for the buffet.
That's a good idea because everyone's touching those spoons, and not everyone washes their hands very often.
I did use the glove kinda as a jokey joke. There was this entire other part of the buffet that we hadn't checked out yet. It had spaghetti with Alfredo sauce, red sauce, and you could put meatballs on it. There was some fried goods.
Let's fly across the border to Mexico. We actually don't have to because it's right here at the buffet. This is the Mexican themed section. There's tacos, nacho cheese, sour cream. Is there guac in there? Are you kidding?
Wait, I didn't even notice this. There was guacamole at the taco bar. And people always charge extra for guacamole. That's okay. I love that.
We actually didn't even try anything from this section because, okay, they do have these little tongs to get the taco shells. But one person there there when we first got there was grabbing the taco shells with his hands, so maybe just not want to get any. He seemed like a nice man, but I was just like, I was kind of excited to try their chicken strip, but then I bit into it and I almost freaking broke my freaking teeth because there's bones in it, and I was just pissed. But like, I mean, I guess that's probably good, because if the bone's attached, doesn't that kind of mean it's more high quality? Chicken strips where there's no bone, it's kind of more processed. Oh yeah, I also got one singular meatball just to give it a try. It tasted just like a Chef Boyardee meatball. If you ever had their spaghetti in the can, it's like this certain texture where it's like, what is it, like styrofoamy? But to me, I like it because it reminds me, yeah, of Chef Boyardee.
There was this fried like chicken finger at the buffet that I got, but then I bit into it and it turns out it was a cut up green pepper that was breaded and fried. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is my very first time having a breaded fried green pepper. In my opinion, it just is stupid.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is here for the health people, because they don't want to eat French fries, you know? So I'd say, oh, a breaded green pepper, like that's way more healthy.
I also got spaghetti and meatballs, and like Lucas said, it tasted exactly like Chef Boyardee. Thinking back to the people at this restaurant, most of them were older, but the reason why I'm mentioning that is because I was just about to say this spaghetti and meatballs felt like such a little kids meal type thing, but it must not be a kids meal spaghetti because there was no kids there, I don't think. Meh. Got some oyster crackers by the soup section of the buffet, simply because I wanted to have a nostalgic moment. Remind me so much of childhood.
But we always put them in chili.
Yeah. If I remember right, we were both eating those oyster crackers and we kept saying over and over, wait, they're so buttery and good. So I don't know what they put in these oyster crackers, but we were raving about them. It ain't a buffet without dessert. Let's hit up the dessert bar. They had brownies, jello, this mint chocolate chip pudding stuff.
So interesting. It's like, it is pudding, but it also is like hard. What is that?
I think it's Oreo fluff, but with
Hard.
the mint Oreos. I also had ice cream, and they had cups and cones, and they had a bunch of toppings, chocolate and vanilla or twist, and I gotta say, I love the cones. Joy cones. Those are my favorite types of cones because they taste delicious, but also the theme of them. It feels so wholesome, and I love it.
My chocolate cone was hitting all the right spots. After a buffet, I feel like you do need something sweet. Like, I don't want something sweet and hot like a pie. I need something cold, sweet to just wash everything down, get all the levels right. Let's do it.
Lucas and I have accomplished our Sizzler restaurant study. You could honestly just get the buffet and be good. You don't even need to get an entree.
Just, I feel like it's a good time. And a lot of these buffets are like little kid things, where this felt more like mature. It wasn't an arcade or something.
Who knows, except for Bill Nye the Science Guy, if we will ever step foot into another Sizzler location. But it doesn't matter if we step foot in another one again, because experiencing it once is like experiencing something infinitely.
This video will remain forever.